back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Mountain Nostalgic Runner. And we are back for another episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, and this is season 10. And this is episode 4. It's called Tropic, Like It's Hot. And before we get into the review, I kind of want to mention a couple things here. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of a dual video. I got some new makeup that I want to kind of test out right now, so I think I'm gonna multitask and do that to this evening just because I want to see what it gives. Just because, you know, outside it is fall, almost winter, and makeup and stuff like that, I feel like I do that more in the fall and winter because it keeps me, I don't know, happy. The other thing that I kind of want to go over before we get into the video is that I think I'm going to give a brief synopsis right now of Real Housewives of Orange County. So those who have been on my channel, you know I was reviewing Orange County until I stopped because it's not good. It's not a good season. But I have still been watching it. So what I probably am planning on doing, this is the plan since Miami's no longer a thing and I can still kind of handle the 3 shows versus just the 2. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to review the season finale and then I'll review the reunions and then we're done with that. That way we kind of finished it because I can give a brief synopsis of how this season's been going. So Katie came back briefly during the season after she got kicked off the show, which is kind of when I think that's when I stopped reviewing the show actually. And so the show's no longer about her. It's just recycled beef with Gretchen and Tamara, basically. Which is why it's boring. We don't really have anything else going on. Emily, it can be her last season. Gina, I mean, at this point, I'd rather have Gina versus Emily, but it's a toss-up. One of them needs to go, though, just because it's just kind of, they're just kind of there. They don't really have anything going on. Heather Dubrow, she still needs to be there because she's kind of the only one that brings wealth into this group. Shannon, I think she needs a break, but I think what they should do is give her a break after season 20. So the next season, do the big thing that they want to do, and then they are dire needs of a cast shakeup. They've been in dire needs of a cast shakeup. And they need a couple of melanated. They need a couple, not just 1 or 2, because we see where that's going. Make it where you have plenty of people in there. But make it where they actually make sense. Like Katie, she's not interesting enough to bring her back, but they did do her dirty. Noelle, that was a bad season in general, so I don't really know how to judge that season because that was just a really, really bad season. But that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to Orange County. But anyway, I just figured I'll just kind of talk about that a little bit before we get into some other housekeeping. So I'm going to do one more thing about housekeeping and then we'll get into the review. Okay? Also, hopefully you guys don't zoom in when it comes to this video because let me give you a little bit of a story time that isn't really story time. So as far as me playing with my looks, I'm playing with my looks a lot. As in, I think I'm going to go back to wearing my piercings more often. So if you don't know or if you haven't noticed, well, now it's probably obvious right now. I've had a nose piercing for 20 years. And I don't have to re-pierce or nothing like that. It's been there. It's always been there. I just rarely wear it anymore. But it's always been a thing. It's never really went away. And I decided, okay, I want to go back to wearing nose rings because I normally wear studs. But I want to go back to wearing nose rings because my parents might see this, but I don't care. I am thinking about getting more piercings. And it might be, you know what? Whatever, crisis. I want to say it's a quarterly crisis, but we're past a quarter. So I'm like, it's a crisis. I mean, or just whatever. I just want to get back to who I am on the inside and show it outside more. And I think I've been doing that little by little the older I've gotten, especially being remote for so long. So for those who don't know my story, I became remote probably about I almost want to say, okay, we already did. So I already did this without showing you guys, but yeah. I became remote roughly 2014. So almost 11 years I've been remote. And I don't really know what life is like not being remote because I've been remote for so long. That's one major thing about me. So as a result, because that is kind of my vibe, I've been kind of not, I'm slowly getting back to who I am as a person versus what society wants me to be as far as aesthetics concerned. So one of the things is, back when I worked in the office, I had a relaxer. I haven't had a relaxer since 2014. Actually, since 2014. I stopped getting relaxer back in 2014. Actually cut my hair really short and then stopped doing the relaxer. And then just started growing it out. And then as my hair was growing out, I was cutting the relaxer out. And then we've been natural ever since for the most part. I experimented with hair colors again, just because I never really got to do that because my main job is a very corporate job. And I didn't know perception-wise how that would go. But that's when I started to be able to experiment with looks and stuff like that, even when it comes to makeup and all that. So that's kind of my backstory of where I'm going when it comes to this. And now with the different hair colors and the different styles I do now, the protective styles, that's something where I finally feel the freedom to do. Well, the other thing too is I have some tattoos, but they're hidden. I do eventually want to get more tattoos and I want to get more piercings. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and that's kind of what's been going on. But the reason why I said don't mind this because I tried to put a nose ring in today and I couldn't get it off. And also when I put the nose ring in, I forgot that I don't wear the gauge I used to. So when I was wearing them all the time, I stretched my nose ring enough where I had it a certain gauge in. Well, since I don't wear them frequently, my gauges now, their studs are not as big of a gauge. So I basically re-stretched my nose today. And then once I did that, I could not get the thing out. Now I know how this will do. It's not going to shrink again. It's muscle memory. It'll get back to where it gets to. But like, it was just a whole entire thing where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. And I found out the stud that I got, it's one of those snaps, but it gets stuck. And I didn't check it before I put it in my nose. So if I'm messing with my nose a little bit, I promise you I'm not tweaking. That's kind of the other reason why I wanted to bring that up too. So there's that. And then the other thing is this weekend was awesome. For those, I always try to do stuff on the weekend. Me and my bestie, we went out to eat. Actually, we were just in a certain side of the city that we don't really get to go to very often and just had us a time. It was such a good time. But it was fairly low key. And then the other thing I did this weekend is I winterized my place. So for those who don't know, I have a balcony and I also have like this giant terrace. And so I put the furniture away because it already has gotten cold. You see I have a hoodie on. And so I was like, okay, I've already kind of figured if I was going to have an event, it was going to be last weekend and it didn't happen. So I'm like, any event I have moving forward, we're just going to be in the house and that's it. And that's kind of where I left it at. So I just already winterized all my stuff. I took all of because I had turf on my balcony. I already wrapped that all up, put it away in the storage. And I I stacked up all my furniture and just have it all secured on with its cover, so that's all ready to go. The only thing I have to do now is winterize more of my plants. I have 3 of my plants winterized. I have more to go to, and then my 2 plants I had outside, I put them inside. I have a lot more plants to get to because I kind of was ambitious with my first year of planting again. And next year is going to be even worse because I'm going to have herbs next year. So I have a lot of plans for what I'm doing. But anyway, that's enough about me and enough about how things are. I just kind of wanted to get the housekeeping, say, hey, how y'all doing? And then let's get into the review. Anyway, Yeah, let's go. Okay, as I said, I'm going to be multitasking because I want to check out different looks and stuff. So I'm going to be doing my makeup as well as doing the review at the same time. Okay? Okay. So we continue on with where we were at last week with the show, where we have Kay is still just spewing so much venom towards Stacy, as if Stacy tried to steal her man or something. And Stacy in her confessional, she's like, "Oh my gosh, she just does not like me. Like, what is her problem? Like, why does she like not like me?" And I'm confused about that too, because I'm just like, what is this? This is weird. And so that's kind of the other thing that's going on, is that Stacy's like, okay, she just clearly doesn't like me. What's her problem? And for how much energy that Kay is giving on her, it is weird. It's giving weirdo. And honestly, when I first was watching the show and was thinking about giving the review, I was thinking about doing the review as in like, okay, should I maybe do a person at a time? Or how exactly should I do this? So, but I'm not going to do it that way. I decided, yeah, no, we're just going to not do it that way. Anyway, so then the other thing is, yeah, Stacey's basically like, she doesn't like me. I don't know what this is. It's like, for how much energy she's putting to not like me, I don't get it. And child, neither do us. So we see you on that. And then they get off the Sprinter and they finally get to the Black Eyed Susan Preaknik event. Say Preaknik 3 times, child. That's hard to say that. But side note, I saw a couple of reviewers say, listening to the review or about to review, and they were talking about the Preaknik name. And I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought it. I just didn't say in my review, but I did think Freaknik when they first were saying it. And shout out to Rodney the voice. He literally straight up started playing some Luke. I was like, do the brown. Because that's what I think of whenever I think of Freaknik. I definitely think of Uncle Luke. So I was cracking up. But anyway, they are finally there, and it really is kind of like, it definitely is pretty much like Kentucky Derby. Now, I don't know, are there places other than like, well, clearly we found out this past 2 episodes that Maryland has their own version of a Kentucky Derby. Are there other places that have like a Kentucky Derby? The reason why I'm asking is because I'm from Indiana, so like that's where any of us went to whenever we wanted to do this kind of thing. We would go to the Kentucky Derby because it's not that far away. So I'm just wondering. So put in the comments if you know if there's any other places that do a similar thing. But this is Black Eyed Susan Day. Oh, and side note, some of the reviewers I noticed who are reviewing this, calling it Black Eyed Susan, they're confused by where that name comes from. That's the name of the plant. It's a type. So I think Black Eyed Susan is just one of the names of the plant, but like it's part of the giant family that is related to like sunflower seeds, daisies, coneflowers, like that. They're all in the same family. Just in case any of y'all want to know, you already know I do have a little bit of a green thumb over here, so that's why I know what those are. But anyway, and sunflowers and Black Eyed Susans and those type of plants are literally my favorite plants. So this would be something that I would love, because I would love celebrating that type of plant. Outside orchids. Orchids are actually my true favorite plant, but they're very hard to maintain, hard to take care of. I had an orchid for about, I want to say 5-6 years, and I called it Orky the Orchid. And when I relocated from the suburb to the city and repotted it, I accidentally root rotted it and killed it. But like, you have to discover that you're root rotting it early enough to like be able to save it. But about the time I figured out, it was too late. And I tried it one more time, but now since I have cats, orchids I feel like are another plant that's not, if the cats get into, is a toxic plant. So it's just kind of like, yeah, it's not worth having one. And also too, it was just like as difficult as taking care of a pet. I promise you it was. That's the most temperamental type of plant ever. And you need to have the right sunlight. You need to have the right water. it's a whole thing. Like, I brought distilled water for the plant. The way I was overly taking care of this plant, it was crazy. Anyway, I'm getting way side note. Back to the event. But Wendy is like, yes, we're finally at the event. We're doing things. And then Wendy and Giselle, because they go inside and they're seated and they're basically getting their money ready. They make a joke, first of all. Kay kind of makes a joke, which I didn't think she could make a joke because the way she's been this season so far, child, taking everything too seriously. But no, they made a joke about, okay, what we're going to do for the $20. So everyone kind of got some money to like basically bet off of and use for their horse betting, because basically this is essentially what this is for. They're going to do some horse betting when it comes to like the track and all that. And Stacy immediately was just kind of like, you know what, it's taking too long to kind of figure all this out. I just pocket that $20. I was like, and I would have done the same thing. I have no interest in gambling. I'm not a gambler, for those who don't know. I don't like to gamble. I occasionally play the lottery, and last time I think I played the lottery kind of more regularly, which was 2 years ago. Well, maybe 3 years ago, around the pandemic, still during that time. I won $500. And like, because I don't gamble, that really was like a profit. And I was like, okay, we're done. No need to do that again. we got out the way. Because I was like, child, I don't want to be no breaking, no even. I don't like that. So anyway, but Wendy sits down with Giselle and they're talking, and Wendy's just kind of giving these sly remarks about Angel. Side note, so this is what I'm going to be using next. So this is what I used first, and now we're going to use this next. Literally concealer. That's what this is. Now we're using this. Okay, let's get into what they were talking about next. Child, right away, this is going to be a long video, but I'll try to chop it down quite a bit. So they're talking about Angel and how Angel kind of has a stink attitude. And keep up on this, because this is going to be kind of the theme of the episode, that they will not leave this lady alone. And so Wendy was just kind of like, yeah, I heard she didn't graduate college. Like, that she started, but she didn't finish. And they were like, okay, that's it. And, you know, Giselle kind of was like, okay, that's some tea. And it's just very interesting now seeing Wendy and Giselle plotting and scheming together. Because that's literally what that was. They're definitely plotting and scheming together. Anyway, next they're all seated. And then once they're all seated, then we see next that Ashley tries to confront Tia. And it's just like, honestly, this season so far, I can tell Ashley's not needed. Ashley is just like, she's just kind of there. I'm not sure why she's there. And she's just trying to find things that will stick. And so far, nothing is. Similar to Kay, but only with Ashley, it's not as cringy. It's still an obvious thing. So basically, Ashley tries to confront Tia about Tia calling her rude, because guess what? She was being rude. So we find out in the cutscene that Ashley invited some of the ladies over to her house for some type of event while they're at the dress shop. And Tia and some of the other ladies were still there, and Tia was like, rude. And Tia was like, well, it was very tongue-in-cheek that I said that, because normally, I don't know, it's just good practice to, if you are going to invite people, make sure if you're not inviting everyone just to, like, you know, I don't know, invite those people at another time. You don't do it in front of everyone, which by the way, to give Ashley some bail, we don't know if Ashley knew who was all there, but I feel like she knew who was all there, because we already know Ashley has no couth. So are we that surprised that she would do something like that? The answer is no. So, but anyway, Tia was like, okay, yeah, no, we can't. I don't know why you would do that. And then she was like, it's very tongue-in-cheek. And then Ashley's still trying to make it a thing. And Tia's like, well, I'm not trying to make it a thing. Keep up. And, like, basically, Tia, no disrespect, was packing Ashley up for lunch. And it was like easy. It wasn't even that hard for her to do it. I was like, wow. So when it comes to how I feel about Tia, I am liking her. Like, I really like Tia, I think. I think I'm starting to really, really like Tia. Angel, dang, she fell off. She fell off bad. So, but I love, though, what I'm seeing when it comes to Tia. Tia is a key, and I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it. Ba, 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 ba. That's kind of how I feel about Tia. But yeah, so then she kind of made a joke about it afterwards because she's like, you know what? Ashley, I actually do feel away. I feel away. You know, Giselle said that we were going to get along just fine. And fast forward, you were going to fancy me. She's like, do you even fancy me? Do you fancy me? And Ashley's like, you're a beautiful woman. And so they kind of kept it light and kept it cute and kept it moving because Ashley was, you could kind of tell Ashley was trying to stretch it and Tia was not having it. She's like, girl, don't try to stretch it over here. We're not doing that. Like, leave that to someone else because we're not doing that here. And I can totally see it and felt it. And I love that Tia like shut that down immediately. And then next, right after that, then Jazzy shows up. As Jazzy shows up, Kiana or Kay basically just had this stank look on her face like immediately. And just kind of like, you know, and this is where I'm finally starting to realize Kay literally has nothing going on. Nothing. It's worse than Ashley, which I don't know how someone could be worse than Ashley, but it is very much worse than Ashley. And so she's worse than Ashley, and she's just being really, really weird and kind of stank. And, you know, it was so obvious, though, because she just had this look. And to me, I don't know what it really is, but now I'm starting to feel like, Kay, are you mad that all the other newbies did better on this show than you, even though you've been on the show longer? Is that what this is? Or is this a case of, because you know you can't pick on the main girlies, the OGs, or the seasoned people on here, you try to pick on everyone else but them? Because we know she's not picking on Giselle or Ashley anymore, even though it would make more sense for her to pick on Ashley, considering how she even ended up being full-time on the show to begin with. And she's not picking on Giselle, because, I mean, clearly it's giving she knows better, so she won't. And it's just really weird, odd behavior. And anyway, so that's kind of what we saw there. And then Angel and Jazzy do talk for a little bit, and they talk about them both being wags. And Angel is shading her as she's talking to her the whole entire time. She's like, yeah, my husband is a starting player of the NFL. And I don't know if Angel didn't think anyone was going to pick up on that, but of course Wendy and her messy behind, and myself, and Stacey were all just kind of like, that was interesting. And side note, we see in this episode also that Stacey and Wendy are getting closer, and I love that for them, because Aries and Gemini energy can be a key. It can either be really good or really bad, but when it's really good, it's very, very good. And so that's kind of what I'm getting so far when it comes to their energy. Anyway, they do then take a break, and then they decide they're going to go outside and then, you know, actually start watching the horse race. And so from there, as they're watching the horse race, I think Wendy ended up winning a little bit, and Giselle maybe ended up winning a little bit too. And then from there, we addressed then the obvious, what we just saw as Jazzy came in there. Jazzy's like, do you have an issue with me, Kay? Because Jazzy wasted no time. I was like, do you have an issue with me? And side note, I hate to say this, but Jazzy being on my screen and her charisma versus Kay, I kind of wish Jazzy was full-time and Kay was like friend of, because Kay brings nothing other than just conflict and little girl energy. I hate to call a thing, but that's how I feel about it. And it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to call her a little girl, but it is giving that kind of energy. And it's just not cute. Anyway, moving on. So then Kay out of nowhere reaches and tries to tell her that Wendy said that there's a problem between them two. And Wendy regurgitated what she said. She was like, no, like I found that her response was interesting and you should probably look into it. That wasn't given messy, but of course Kay, because she doesn't know how to like be like extra, she took it a certain way. And Wendy was like, that's not what I meant, but okay, if you like it, I love it. And that's kind of what I'm getting when it comes to Kay. It's like, girl, you're just searching for an issue. And that's literally what Jazzy's response was to this. She's like, okay, I guess, she's like, you're going through a tough time. I know you and Greg are having your issues. And why did she say that for? Because that made her all the way mad. But I mean, honestly, a hit dog will holler. So like, what are we talking about? And so of course Kay gets extra offended and she's just like all just extra upset now. And then they do pause for a second because the first lady shows up, and we find out though by the shady producers the first lady didn't want to be on the show at all. So the fact that Wendy was calling her out and stuff, she really didn't want to be on the show. So she was blurred out. So we didn't actually get to see the first lady. And Kay, in her confessionals being shady, she's like, you claim that the first lady invited you to this, offer to show up for like 5 seconds. And it's like, well, she's the first lady. She probably invited a whole bunch of people. So like, what are we talking about? And it's just giving, I don't know, it's giving Kay is just jealous. That's all where it's coming off to me as. I mean, because still, I don't know what the issue is with her and Wendy. I still don't know what that is. I don't know what the issue is with her and Stacy. And then she also has an issue with Jazzy. And I'm like, Jazzy's not even full time, so that doesn't even make any sense at all. But that's kind of what I'm noticing. And so anyway, so then from there, Jazzy and Kay end up going back and forth. And no disrespect, I feel like Kay won that. Because Kay can't argue. She gets aggressive and that's it. She can't really argue though. And so then afterwards, because Kay is so upset that she basically got packed up, because she did get packed up for lunch. She then makes a comment that she doesn't want, she doesn't want Giselle to invite her on the trip, the cast trip. And Giselle's like, okay. And then in the background, out of nowhere, we hear Angel say, yeah, let's bring Charisse on the cast trip. And it's just kind of like, where did Charisse come from at? And everyone was just kind of like, okay. And it's like, right then there, you lost so many points with me, Angel. God dang, that is wild to me where Angel started. When it comes to this show, I really liked her at the beginning, and now I'm just kind of like, okay, she can go. She's not, I don't know if she's going to be able to redeem herself at this point, because once you mention Charisse and that you want her around, you lost the plot for me. I'm kind of like, okay, I don't even want you on the show now. No one wants Charisse on this show. No one wants that lady on this show. Like, it's a case of trying to make fetch happen. Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so then next we have like a mini Housewives montage, and we see that the women are basically all getting ready to go on this trip. And then from the Housewives montage, we then see that the girlies are on the plane. As they're going on the plane, all the ladies are pretty much in first class, and then the shady producers show that Jazzy is in coach. And it basically probably was based off the room and the budget. and she's a friend of. So it is what it is. And at least she's, you know, I know Monique is a friend of, but she hasn't made her appearance yet. At least she got to go on the cast trip, so who cares? But anyway, then they do arrive at the Nevis. And I think I said a different island last week. Child, I don't be knowing. I be trying, but I don't be knowing. I think is this island close to LaCroix or something like that? I don't remember where this island's close to, but like I'm not as familiar when it comes to like the Caribbean islands because there's so many. Other than like the major ones, like clearly I know where a lot of those are at. But yeah, so anyway, they arrive actually at another island because the island, their final destination where they're going to, they actually then will need to take a boat to get to that. And they're staying at the Four Seasons. And so far, Giselle did her big one. This is giving budget. It's not giving chicken shit bingo. It's looking great. And so then basically they're having their champagne, they're having basically their charcuterie board situation, and they're eating. And as this is happening, then somewhere out of nowhere, I think it's someone from customs pops up, and she's just like, yeah, no, Angel, we have a problem with your luggage. You need to like switch it out. Because apparently she packed camouflage. And it specifically said to not do that. I don't know what the reason is behind that. Maybe because it's like military and all that. But like, it's just like, why did you? It was literally her bag was that. And she did that. And of course, all the ladies immediately are judging her. Like, why would you do that? Like it was literally clear as mud on like the instructions to not pack that. And now you may not even get in the country now because you made that stupid mistake. And I'm glad to see this because for those who don't know, I've only traveled like Canada and like basically passport card. I've never traveled anywhere where I actually need my passport completely. So these type of things, I love housewife shows for this to a certain degree because it helps me realize, oh, okay, it's good to know these things and pay attention to these things because you just never know. So I'm actually glad that I saw this because it's like, okay, good to know. Because I don't want to end up being somewhere and then I pack something that I shouldn't have packed and you wouldn't think anything of it. And that's the whole entire problem. So I actually am glad that I saw this. But I was like, okay, yikes, and yikes. So then we see that. And then from there, Tia basically saved the day. By the way, Tia, this whole entire episode to me was literally the MVP. She was a key this whole entire episode. Her, Stacy and Wendy, easily my favorite this episode. They were all cracking me up. Anyway. So Tia saves the day and kind of steps in. She's like, we could just she basically had like, she packs similar to me. And Tia packs like I pack. So I usually pack light-ish. By like light-ish, I'll have 2 bags, but I'll have a bag that's kind of somewhat empty. That way, if I want to buy stuff on the trip or if I want to bring something back, I can. And so she had plenty of room in one of her bags. And so she just put Angel's bag in her bag and problem solved. Now we won't see the camouflage and it's all good. So anyway, they're able to keep going and they go on the boat and the boat looks like so much fun. And everyone's sitting down, everyone's talking, everyone's conversating. And then we kind of get to the point where we kind of rehash things because Messy Giselle was like, yeah, someone didn't want you on the trip. And this is after Giselle announced that this whole entire trip is actually for Jazzy. It's her bachelorette party. So, plot twist, like the girls who did not want her on the trip, that wasn't going to happen because it's her bachelorette party. So they're basically doing a bachelorette party / Wendy's birthday again. And so that wasn't going to work. And so basically though, Giselle was like, yeah, there's some people who didn't want you on the trip. Kay and Angel. And Angel's like, wait, now I get in it. Because her comment about Charisse. And Giselle was definitely stretching and being messy because it really wasn't giving that. It was giving that she wanted Charisse to come too. To me. Now, you could interpret it either way. I just don't have as much of a messy personality, so I will never interpret something as messy, even though it could very well be. So that's just never the side that I make opinions on. But that is kind of like, so basically Angel is windmilling this whole entire time. She's like, that's not what I meant. Like, and then from there, they go from talking about that to Angel's comment about the WAGs and how her husband is a starting player. And in the confessional, Angel was literally giving that energy of what they're accusing her of doing. But of course, in person, she's like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. And see, I don't like that. I don't like that, Angel. Angel, you need to learn how to stand on business. You don't need to be as aggressive as your friend because, sorry, call a thing, your friend's aggressive. But you do need to like stand up and not just be all like, oh no, that's not what I meant. It's like, girl, it's just falling flat every time. And we're just, me as an audience, I'm starting to not believe you. I feel like you are being messy, but when it's time to put it all on the floor, you ain't doing that. And it's just kind of annoying. Anyway. So then basically Jazzy kind of goes back and forth with both Angel and then really Kay, because Kay was just kind of like, yeah, you got an attitude of me, I didn't get an attitude of you. She's like, girl, you got an attitude of me, what is that about? And then Kay basically was, and then basically, no, sorry, Jazzy was like, well, you're putting all this energy, but then you ain't gonna say what you were saying about Wendy. And everyone was like, wait, what? And they were like, when were you talking about Wendy? And it was like 6 months ago. I was like, oh, and I love it. I love it. Because what they even said later on, Kay and Angel are getting exposed left and right of pre-producing. That's really what this boils down to. Because it's giving that Kay was trying to have an issue with Wendy. She was talking about the issues that she has with Wendy 6 months ago, just so that she could bring it on the show. Does she really have an issue with Wendy? Who knows? Who cares? But because she has nothing going on, or at least the things that she really has going on, she doesn't want to talk about it, aka her loser man. This is where we're at. And she's getting exposed. So basically, of course, Kay is upset now because she got aired out in front of the group yet again. And no one had her back. And she couldn't do that big dog thing that she does because she found the right one. Because, again, Jazzy packed her right up yet again. It's just kind of like, wow. It's pretty easy to pack her up. Because all she does is yell and get in your face. Anyway, so then all the women, and then Giselle's like, you know what? It's fine. Let's just switch the subject. Let's just move forward. Hopefully we can move forward with this. Oh, and the whole entire time while this back and forth is happening, by the way, Tia's confused. And Ashley is cracking up too because Tia's like, I don't know what all this is either because just more and more stuff keeps coming out. But then basically Giselle's like, you know what? It's fine. Let's just get ready to go to the island. We have an upstairs here because they basically run this boat where they have upstairs and downstairs. And let's go ahead and just have a good time. So they go upstairs and start twerking and having a good time. All the ladies are having a good time, minus Kay and Angel. They're being womp, 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 bumps and log. And both of them are just kind of just there feeling away. Well, they're just there feeling away. Anyway, moving on. So then from there, they do get to the actual place, the Four Seasons, and they all have rooms that Giselle picked out. Giselle, of course, was being shady. Are we surprised? No. And then from there, everyone gets their rooms for the most part. Everyone has a nice room. Even Stacey had a nice room, but was it shady? Absolutely. Everyone else minus Stacey had flowers. Well, she had flowers. They had a card that was personalized. She did not have a personalized card. They had personalized bag, personalized robe, and it was a whole thing. And Stacey had nothing. She had the things, but they just were like not personalized. And Stacey was just kind of like, I see what Giselle's trying to do, but it's not gonna work over here. And I love it. I love it. Stacey, keep being you. Don't ever change. Do not ever change. And so, hold on. I'm trying this out now. This is a liner / lip gloss. I'm trying to switch up how I do my lips. Anyway, so then after they kind of get settled in, they talk about how Stacey, Wendy, and Jazzy talk about that there's clearly the divide when it comes to this group. It's pretty much everyone else, and then Kay and Angel. And on the other side, you see Kay and Angel, they're talking about everything that's happening right now, and they feel away. And Angel keeps saying in their confessional that no one's being inviting to her, but it's like, Angel, you're not showing that you want to be invited. And that's the kind of the point that the ladies are trying to say. And I said this last week during my review. Angel, with love, I know you really want your friendship to last with Kay. But so far from what I'm seeing, Kay is holding you back. Kay is holding you back. She's holding you back. And because you basically are looking like her lackey, her representative. You don't seem like even minding your own. So all the women are hesitant, and they even mentioned in the boat, they're hesitant to try to get to know her because it's giving you're her lackey, and you do not have a mind of your own. And, they all want to know, is there an opportunity where we are going to get to know you? Or are you just going to be biased because based off the way you've been presenting it, you're presenting it as if whatever type of thing that Kay is on, that's going to be the time that you're on. Which is problematic, right? And the ladies are all picking up on that, like, okay, this is a thing. So you can't be mad that the women are not trying to get to know you when you basically have made it known that you're not going to be easy for the women to try to get to know. You've kind of made that clear based off of your interaction so far. And with love, I'm confused why she's confused. I don't know. I am very confused how she's confused. I just am. Oh, I like this. Side note. So I've never done my lips like this before. I usually just do lipstick straight up and not the liner and everything. And I just wanted to mix it up for once and do something different. And I like how I look. I look different this way. I don't even look like the same person. Anyway, where was I at? Sorry. Okay. So then, fast forward, the women are getting ready for dinner, and we see that Tia's talking to her kids. And Tia, I love Tia. Tia is a Kiki, and even her kids are a Kiki. Like, it definitely reminds me of old school Housewives, and especially with her kids just having the personality that they do. Because a lot of the women on this show, either their kids are too young, or they're not really showing their personality like that, or they're like, college years. So it is nice to see these scenes where we have Tia and her kids, and she's FaceTiming them and she's talking with them, and it's cute. Like, I love it. So basically then from there, after we have this scene, then we basically have the women going out to dinner. Let's get into that. Side note, I really am liking this makeup. So I tried this one this time. I think next time I do a review, I'm going to try this one. This is a lot lighter. But so far, this is going to be what I wear a lot. Like, I'm obsessed already. Obsessed. And my lips feel nice and smooth. Like, I just love how my lips look in this. And I love the contouring job I did, too. So I love this new contouring kit. Because I haven't been able to find a really, really good contouring kit that I really, really like. And this one I love. I love it. Now I normally would set this, but you already know I was just experimenting. I ain't going anywhere after this. I'm gonna wipe off my face and go to bed after this review. I just was trying something new just to see what it would do, and I'm like, okay, so I might go out with this. I might go out with this kind of look on Thursday just to see what it gives, and maybe put my hair up or do something like this. Oh yeah, Anyway, let me get back to the show. So then they're seated at dinner. All the women are looking lovely. I love a nice Caribbean dinner. Child, this makes me want to go down to the Caribbean so badly. I really want to go. But anyway, so they sit down and Stacy and Kay are sitting across from each other. And Kay's like, I know we're not really talking right now, but I just want to know, how are you and Greg doing? Are you two back together? And Kay was like, no, thank you. Yeah, we are back together. And we have talked and stuff since. Like, you and I, we kind of patched things up. And Stacy's like, you really haven't, but okay. And Kay's version of patching things up is that she's talking to her again. Them being cordial and patching things up. I'm like, girl, no, that's called you guys are being cordial. Like, which I don't understand how you couldn't have just been cordial from the beginning, even if you don't care for her, and you didn't need to do all the exploding that you did. It was weird. Like, Kay, I don't know. I'm just kind of over her. Like, her and her energy it ain't it. And I mean, Jazzy said herself, you mad about your relationship with that man, and now you're projecting on everyone else because you got humiliated on national TV. And you have nowhere to put that except for the people that you think you could, like, basically go down on. Like, not go down on, but child, that sounds very nasty and dirty. That's not what I meant. She basically is punching down. So anyone that she thinks is below her, she's going after them. You know, she's not going after Giselle. She's not really going after Ashley. She is passively aggressively still trying to go after Wendy, but like it's not landing because it's very passive aggressive and like childish. It's giving very childish. And even Wendy actually brought it up again because it came up again. She's like, I don't know what your problem is with me. And no one does still. But anyway, so from there, Wendy is then talking to Angel because she's just like, Angel, it seems like you have a problem with me. And Angel's like, no, it seems like you have a problem with me. You didn't greet me or anything like that. And we see a cut scene and we don't see that Wendy greeted Angel at all, but we also didn't see that Wendy and Angel were near each other like that. But Tia did kind of call out. She's like, yeah, I don't see you to talk to each other really. And Wendy, I can tell what it is with her. She's like, it took me back. And Wendy mentioned it. She's like, that dinner or lunch that we had and you turning on me took me aback. So like, I don't want to interact with you like that because I don't know what I'm going to get from you. And Angel is taking no accountability for it. She's like, well, I felt a way that basically she threw her under the bus about the way she was acting. But she didn't use that word. Instead, she said, I feel a way that you attacked me. And I'm just like, Wendy's like, see, and I don't like that microaggressive conversation you're saying right now because I didn't attack you. I called you out on what you were doing and very respectfully called you out, which is completely true. Was it messy a little bit? Yes. But was she calling out what we saw on the screen as an audience? Also, yes. So, Angel with love, I don't know what this is, but you need to learn how to do better when it comes to like you going back and forth. And then from there, it kind of was, now at this point, it was starting to turn to like a pile-on, and I don't like that really. So it went from that to then they were talking about, because earlier on we see that Giselle and Ashley were talking about Angel's photo before they joined the show. Because, these women, when they find out certain housewives are joining the show, they want to scoop and figure out what's going on. Look at their social media, see what's giving. And so that is what they did. And Angel's picture looks different than how she looks today. It does. And Angel keeps swearing up and down, no, that is me. That is me. Now, I saw one of the pictures because they're showing a whole bunch of pictures, but the one I wasn't able to see. So to me, and this is me giving Angel some grace, I think this is a picture of her when she was younger and before her kids. Because Angel did have a point when it came to like her features on her face and stuff. Now, she's definitely still carrying that, with Angel, and now I think about it, I kind of feel bad about how her experience is on the show so far. She's doing it to herself, don't get it twisted. But I'm almost wondering, is she dealing with postpartum? Because it sounds like from what we've gathered on this show so far, since she's still pumping and everything, she just had her child. And if she is postpartum and she's putting herself in this type of stressful environment with these sharks that are women, yikes. And so Angel was just like, no, that is me, that is me, that's me. But everyone basically is like, girl, it's giving filter. And with love, Angel, you definitely have a filter picture. It's not as filtered as what they're trying to say. I think they're putting 20 on 10 when it comes to how filtered your pictures are. But all your pictures are filtered because everyone usually people who put things on Instagram, their pictures are filtered. I mean, I don't do it because I look good. But I kid. I do sometimes. But other times I don't. But yeah, it's definitely giving a filter. But I do like how in her confessional, she's shading the other women. She's like, how you going to talk to me about a filtered picture when y'all have all been filtering their pictures? But then she used it as opportunity to shade Wendy. She was like, but some of y'all have went on a whole entire operation table and made yourself a completely different person. I'm just kind of like, and this is what Wendy was talking about. So Wendy, when she made her points when it came to Angel, Angel basically had no answer for her when it came to this because Wendy's right. Angel, she keeps saying she wants to get to know these women, but she has a bias. And she is definitely more looking towards what Kay has to say about the women before she actually gets to know and learn these women independently. Which is the incorrect way of doing things. Like, if you're going to be on the show and you're going to truly stand on your own, you need to get to learn and know these women on your own. And then form your own opinion. Maybe use what Kay has to say in the back burner just in case you see something funny. But you have basically not given really much of these women any opportunity to get to know you. And then now you're complaining about how you feel isolated. You basically hitching your wagon to Kay is why. Because Kay is not good at this show. Kay, she's not good. Okay? She just isn't. She isn't. And I hate to say this, but I feel like part of Kay's animosity towards Jazzy is if it wasn't for Kay having that spot because of what happened, Jazzy probably would have been full-time. That's kind of the hunch I'm getting. I don't know if that's true. I'm going to say allege, but it is giving that energy. Anyway, move on to the last bit of this. Again, I already told you this is going to be a long review. So then from there, Kay and Angel, they still feel a way about things. We already talked about that. And then from there, it goes from, we're talking about Stacey and Giselle. And Stacey is like, you guys are all up in my business, but like, it came up because Wendy brought to the group's attention about how Stacey didn't have anything custom. What was that about? And Giselle was like, well, I don't know you. Like, I feel like I don't know you. You know? Giselle in her confessional, even though I don't like Giselle, she basically was like, who is this hoe? And I'm sorry, every time I hear that, I think of Kenya Moore and the poster board. I know that was wrong what she did. But that who is this hoe was iconic to me. She's like, who is this hoe? Who is this hoe? Who is this hoe? Sorry. And then basically Stacey's like, okay, I see what you're doing, but okay, whatever. And she was like, but you're so worried about what I got going on. What about who you dated, who you with? And then she thought she had aha, gotcha. And she brought up the Sean situation. Giselle wasn't even phased. She's like, that's one of the many men I'm dating. Yes, I'm dating him. It's not serious. He's just one of the many men I'm dating. And when it comes to trying to confront Giselle and her having a man, Stacey, I know last episode, like, oh, it seems like she's, trying to come and play. You got to find something better when it comes to Giselle, because Giselle is just not going to be fazed by that unless you find her serious man. But it's giving for me, no one would ever know that. She would tell no one on this show. Maybe Robin would probably be the only one would know if she really has a man, like in real life. So, yeah, it basically didn't turn out the way she thought it was going to turn out. And then Wendy, as Giselle and Ashley are going back on her about her stuff, Wendy's like, oh no, they about to wrap you up. And they're about to line you up. That's what she said. They're about to line you up. And Ashley drops the bomb. She's like, yeah, speaking of NFL players, you were sitting around with a certain NFL player, someone that some of us know around here. And then Wendy and her reaction is like, ah! Wendy's extraness, I know it started last season. I've liked Wendy ever since. I mean, I already did like Wendy before, but last season we finally start seeing Wendy's personality. And this season we're really getting it. I mean, yeah, she may be a scammer, but I'm sorry, she's entertaining to me. Allegedly, when it comes to scamming, because I don't know. We don't know. Innocent until proven guilty. But anyway, that's where the episode ends. It ends to be continued because she drops a bomb about the Chris Samuels. And that's where it ends. But anyway, that concludes the episode. Hopefully you like my mini makeup tutorial. I just want to do something different. I just want to do something different. And also, side note, I realize my lips are not that big. Like, I have full lips, but they're not like I don't think I want that. I don't want a duck lip, but I just noticed that. Like, I have very natural lips. I don't know. I just noticed it, especially when it comes to this lipstick. I feel like when I do my normal thing, my lips look bigger. I noticed this made my lips look smaller. I don't know. Let me know, because y'all have seen me do my makeup tutorials before. If you haven't, definitely check out my Ready to Go Outside videos I have. It's in the playlist of me doing my makeup and then even doing my hair. I've gotten way better about doing my hair since I started doing it on the channel, but I actually don't do my hair on the channel anymore because it takes too long, because I'm a lot more meticulous. Like, this took me 2 days to do it. Like, I did the braiding first, because this is crocheted in. I did not actually braid it in. So I braided all my hair in their own individual spots, and then I crocheted it all in the next day. But anyway, that does conclude this video. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, my cat's right here, so I'm petting her. But anyway, I will see you next time. Bye. Side note, this is a close look of my makeup. I did a good job. I'm getting better with this no makeup look. I just wanted to show you a close-up of how it looks with it completed. I did kind of hide my mole a little bit here. Actually, I probably should blend this more. I noticed this isn't blended all the way. Let's finish that real quick. I'm glad I went closer, because I'm like, yeah. Why didn't y'all tell me that I didn't finish blending? Anyway, bye. Better. Anyway, bye.